Hey guys, Sleepy here, and welcome to a brand new episode of my weekly gaming playlist series. Red Set Friday here, and it's time to do an overview and a recap, talk about the games that I played this week. Would love to hear your thoughts, so if you played any of the games I shared today, let me know what you thought of them. I always enjoy hearing about the games you guys are playing. That gives me ideas of games that I might want to play myself, so I appreciate you guys sharing your games every week that you guys have been playing. And if you guys have recommendations on games you think I might enjoy playing, let me know. Always looking for new games to play and experience, and I do have a nice list that I have written down in a book. It has different games you guys have recommended for different systems that I've added to my list of games to eventually play, so please keep those coming. Now, I did not upload a video last week in this series. I was just too busy last week for gaming. Was closing more at work and just working a lot more and just was really busy, and it was just nice actually to take a little break from gaming because I have done a lot of gaming this year, so it was nice to just take a kind of a week off and just do other stuff. Got back into gaming this week and went back to my Xbox Series X because I absolutely love that console, and I've got a huge stack of games that I want to play for my Xbox One, and this title is one that's been on that list for a few years now, and I finally got to it, and I've really been enjoying my time with it, and that is a game called The Surge. It's an Xbox One title. Now this is a Souls-like game. This plays just like the Dark Souls games. It's just as difficult as that. Sometimes I find it to be even more difficult than some of the Dark Souls games, but this is basically like a futuristic Dark Souls. It's really cool. You play as this guy, Warren, who goes to work for this corporation called Creo. And at the beginning of the game, you actually are in a wheelchair, and you actually have to move your character around in the wheelchair to get to where they're going to attach an exoskeleton to your body, and that exosuit is going to allow you to have superhuman strength, but also it's giving you the ability to walk, and you're going to be able to work for them, doing different jobs for them. Well, something crazy goes wrong while you're getting your exosuit on, and you end up getting knocked out, and then you find out that all hell is broken loose. The company is in disarray. There's robots that have gone crazy, attacking everybody. Your fellow co-workers have turned into zombie creatures, and they're attacking you. Pretty much everything wants to kill you, and now you have to try to survive and get the hell out of this company and get to safety, and that's where the whole game takes place. I'll read you guys from the back. Welcome to Creo, the mega corporation saving the world. A catastrophic event has knocked you out during the first day on the job. You wake up with a heavy-grade exoskeleton in a destroyed section of the complex. Robots gone haywire, insane workers, rogue AI. Everything wants you dead. And this game does have a unique limb targeting system, which is pretty cool. Cut off parts of the enemy you want to loot. Lethal enemies and bosses. So let's check out some gameplay of The Surge. Alright guys, today we're checking out The Surge. This is a really cool third-person action RPG. It is placed just like the Dark Souls games, so if you like those kind of games, you definitely like this one, but it's a futuristic Dark Souls, really cool game. Now there are 5 DLCs for this game. 2 are story ones, and then 3 give cosmetic and new weapons added to the game and enemies. I highly recommend getting them. One of them is only $1. 2 of the other ones are free, and then the 2 story ones are $5 each. I plan to get the story ones later on. You know, I want to focus on playing the main game first, but I will eventually be buying those and adding to the experience, as I've been having a lot of fun with this game. So let's check it out. It's got good music, it's got really good visuals, looks really awesome here playing on my Xbox Series X on my 4K TV. This is an old Xbox One game. It's fairly cheap to buy. Got your basic options here, you know, adjusting the gameplay, video, audio control, so you have your basic options there. So let's get into it. You can have up to 4 different save slots. If you want to play multiple different characters, you can. And I've got a little over 7 hours in the game so far. And the game is broke up into different areas. I went back here to the beginning area just so I can show you guys some gameplay in the world and stuff. But I have made it to the second area, but I backtracked here. Now, just like in your Dark Souls games, you know, you have area, there's like a safe area, which this is this little like med bay area. And this is where when you heal, the enemies will then respawn here at the med bay. You also can upgrade equipment here in this gear assembly, which is cool. And this is where you'll see the various pieces you have to put onto your exoskeleton. You can also upgrade stuff as well, which is cool. Here's what little, God, why can't I think of the name of it? Menu here, which keeps track of the stuff you have equipped. So different things I've unlocked. You can take off the helmet piece if I don't want to wear the helmet. That's what your character looks like, but I'm using the helmet that I've unlocked. There's different implants you can get, which is cool. As you play through the game, you'll unlock new ones, and they augment your character, make you stronger. You have your inventory, where the parts, which is really cool, is this game has a unique mechanic where it has a limb targeting system, where you actually can cut the limbs off of enemies. And so say the enemy has a new weapon that you don't have. If you're able to cut off his arm, you can then get the schematic for it, and you can then build it and use the weapon to yourself. You can also do that to bosses, cut off their weapon and then use that weapon against them, which is pretty cool. And then you have your collectibles here. So there's audio logs, things that you'll find, quest items will all be here and that. And then your specs keeps track of your overall abilities, like your damage, your defense, and all the different things you have. You also have weapon proficiency, so as you use different weapons, you'll actually level those up, which is pretty cool. And then there's the different things for your rig. Now when you start the beginning of the game, you play as this character, Warren. He's actually in a wheelchair, so he's unable to walk. He comes to this company, and they give him an exoskeleton attached to his body that now allows him to walk. And you get to choose, do you want to be a light exoskeleton or a heavy one? But you can change them later on as you unlock parts and stuff. I recommend go with the strong first, the Rhino class, because you will unlock the Lynx, which is the lighter one, in this beginning area by killing enemies and taking off their limbs. So that way you can have both. I recommend start with the Rhino one first. So there's your inventory system and everything. Show you guys some combat here as well.
Look out for your fellow workers. They look out for you.
So you do have heal charges, just like SNES class kind of thing, but you only have so many charges with it. Right now I have 3 on mine. So once I'm out of them, I have to go back and rest there in order to make them respawn. But then by doing that, it also makes all the enemies respawn in the area as well. And so you'll be doing that a lot because you'll want to be farming areas. But here's where you can target different areas. I'll try to target his arm. When you see that X come up there, this is where you can cut enemies' arms off or legs, different areas you target. And so you drop the schematic for it. Now after you have the schematic, you might think to yourself, oh, why do I need to keep cutting off the same arm piece again? Well, when you knock off that arm piece a second time, you start unlocking the crafting materials that you need to upgrade those weapons. So it's important to cut off as many limbs as you can from enemies constantly, so you have plenty of materials to use. Now when you find an area that's blue, it means that enemy is vulnerable there, and if you attack that area, you'll do extra damage to them. And so let's say you want to get a new suit to wear, and you need all the pieces. So you're going to have to knock off the arm, you're going to have to knock off the leg, you're going to have to cut off the head, you're going to have to rip up the torso. So you're going to have to sometimes kill those certain enemies multiple times to get all the pieces you need. And you don't always have the ability to knock them out depending on how much damage you do, where you're able to cut off a piece. But it will be, based on what you're targeting, is the area that will be the item you're trying to farm. So like if you target his leg and hit it a bunch of times, that's where you're going to try to cut off the leg. But if you switch from the leg to the head, you're not going to be able to you're not necessarily be able to get the head off because it wasn't got weak enough. You have light attacks, you also have heavy attacks, and depending on the type of weapon you're using, here you guys can see this variety of weapon, they do different damage, different abilities. Show you guys the one that's a little bit different. They also have different animations and stuff, and some can remove weapons a little easier than others. Now, real quick, one of the implants that I like having is this proximity sensor. I don't know if it was a DLC item or if it was just one that came out right away. I recommend, if you have it, equip it, because it'll make a noise as you get close to collectibles. Very handy for this world, so you don't miss stuff. You can also lock, locking onto enemies is key. But if you have multiple enemies in an area, you can use the L button to switch different targets. And, you're not trying to fight these guys one-on-one. When they start getting in groups and stuff, you start getting attacked from behind, it can be very difficult. So you do want to back away at times. You have to run if you need to. Make sure you run. Never be afraid to run in these kind of games, to live another day, heal, and come back. You will find different things like this overcharge area based on how leveled up your rig is, which I'm currently at level 42 for my power cells, and you unlock that and level it up by getting scrap, and you earn scrap by killing enemies and by finding it in the world on little collectible drops. So these enemies that you're fighting are other humans in exosuits that have turned into zombie creatures and stuff, so you have to kill them. But there are NPCs you will run into that you can talk to and interact with that'll give you story missions, side missions, and stuff like that, and people you're trying to save. So it was really cool that there are other people for you to interact with. They have a variety of voice actors, and all of them did a fantastic job with this game. Ooh, level up the weapon proficiency for this one to level 4 already. So you have a meter down there, and as you level it up, you start doing more damage with these weapons and unlock new abilities and stuff with them. So it does pay to use them and level up the various weapons you have, because not all weapons are created equally, and sometimes you want to use different weapons on different enemies depending on how fast or slow they are. You might want to change your tactics up, especially when it comes to bosses. And I just love how bloody and violent the game is at times. And there's all kinds of stuff, secrets hidden all over the world, and that's where having that locator is nice, because you'll hear it beeping and let you know that there's a collectible or something somewhere in the area. And sometimes it can be above you, below you, so it'll go off, but it gives you a great general idea of where stuff is. There can also be really dark areas in the game as well, when certain areas don't have power, so it can be pitch black and really hard to see. But if you have, like this one weapon I found here, it'll light up, the weapon will actually light up in the area for you. You can see it where enemies who have it. But you can also turn on a light once you have your body gear on. If you don't have a body gear on, you won't be able to have lights on it, which is key to get that as soon as you can. There are a lot of these little drone characters in the world that can shoot you, so you want to try to take them out. And sometimes there will be multiple of them in an area with other enemies, so just watch yourself when you're battling them. You could also run, but running does use up your stamina, and you can also jump when you run as well. But just be aware, your stamina bar will get used up when you're sprinting.
Hello.
So see, there's all the limbs I cut off that brought me all the material now that I can use to level up stuff or build more. So you have to actually build it. So if you cut off a leg, you actually have to have the materials to build 2 legs so you can have the complete set. And then show you. I'll let myself die here and show you guys the where you have to get the materials back after you die, just like in the Dark Souls ones here. So we'll fight one of the DLC guys. And you can see some of them hit really hard. I've been killed in one hit before by enemies, but I was unaware that snuck up on me. So be aware of that. Just like the Souls games, some enemies are stronger than others. So you'll respawn in the last med bay you use, and then you got to go back to where you were, which you'll have a locator on telling you where your scrap is and how much scrap you have. There we go, recovered it. So just like you do to recover souls in the Souls games, similar situation. Now, something that's cool and useful, the last thing I'll share with you guys, recommend that you guys do, is when you're back here in the med bay, you can actually deposit your scrap so that if you die, you don't lose it. I highly recommend using that. So you don't have too much on you. You don't want to die with like 50,000 scrap on you and then have to start all over from the beginning again if you die a second time. So make sure you come back here frequently and deposit scrap.
Happy to help.
So I'm going to pause it here, guys, and then I'm going to show you guys a little bit of dialogue as him talking to a character so you guys can hear the voice acting, and then we'll end the video. Alright guys, this is the second area where I've rescued some people so we can talk to them real quick, just so you can hear some dialogue.
We made it, buddy. Good to see you. Don't think I forgot I owe you. Found this. Here, take it. Might help.
That's awesome.
You met Davy? Oh yeah. Can't say I care for him much. Wanted me to fetch him his meds. Of course I said no. Man, was he pissed. He's crazier than I thought if he thinks I'm going out there again.
So see, now it sounds like there's another quest for me.
Any trouble getting here? Nah, it was right around the corner and I kept my head down. Worst has got to be over now. Take care, Hobbs. You bet I will. Don't do nothing I wouldn't.
So that's really cool. I didn't know that that they'll find stuff for you, so that's really cool. So definitely you guys should check it out. If you guys love Dark Souls type games, you want a futuristic one, check out The Surge. It's an awesome game. Got some great DLC, priced really well, and just an overall really wonderful experience. Alright friends, that was our look at The Surge. Been having a lot of fun with this game. I'm currently at the end of the second area. I've been trying to beat the second boss. He's really difficult. Been having a little bit of a challenging time with him, so I've been grinding a bit and leveling up my character. Now what's interesting about this world is that basically humans have really devastated the earth and pollution and all kinds of stuff, and so there's been different companies that are working on like fixing the ozone layer and trying to rebuild the earth's ecosystems and bring back whatever they destroyed. So when you first play the game, it talks about the different corporations and gives you a little backstory of what happened to the world. So basically this is kind of like almost like a post-apocalyptic kind of a world, but you don't really get to see much of it since you're here stuck with this Creo's company. But you can see that it's been really damaged and destroyed, and I've really been enjoying the game. It's got really good voice acting. I like the quests. I really like that limb targeting system. It's really cool how you unlock new parts. You know, as talked about during the gameplay, like if you see an enemy with a new weapon, you actually have to target their arm that has the weapon and cut it off by doing a finisher on them. And you do that by building up your energy meter when you hit them. And so if you want to get the full suit from an enemy, you have to cut off their arm. To get the schematic, you got to cut off their arm and their leg, and then you also have to cut their body to get all the parts to have the full suit and weapons and stuff, and then you can level them up. And then what's really good is you want to keep continuing to cut off body parts. Even though you already have the arm, you want to keep cutting off those same arms over and over, because instead of getting the schematic, now you get the resource parts you need to craft better weapons. And as you play through the story, you will start unlocking newer gear, better stuff. You can level up your rig and make yourself stronger. You also have, at the beginning, you have 8 implant slots, but you can actually get up to 16 when you upgrade your rig later on in the game, which is really cool. And then you can go back between different areas that you've already cleared through the tram system, because there are secrets that are in these older areas that you can only get later on when you upgrade and unlock new abilities that allow you to unlock security locks and things like that, unlock lifts that you might not have got to when you first played it. So you backtrack to that area and you might unlock a few extra secrets there. Also, what's cool is this game does have DLC. As I mentioned, there's 5 of them. 3 of them add like new suits, enemies, and weapons. But then there are 2 big DLC expansions that add 2 new areas to go through with new bosses and enemies and stuff. Those both are 5. There was 2 free ones and 1 for $1. And I got the 2 free ones and the 1 for $1. I do plan to eventually get the 2 $5 ones as well, as I'd like to go through those. But I want to work and focus on being the main story so far. I've got about a little over 15 hours in this week. Really been enjoying my time with it. And if you guys like games that are similar to Dark Souls, so that's really difficult, we're not talking an easy game, but you like that kind of challenge, check out The Surge. It's really cool because it's a futuristic one. There's also a sequel, The Surge 2, that I look forward to checking out once I beat this one. So definitely think you guys should check it out. But let me know, have you guys played The Surge? What were your guys' thoughts of this game? Would love to hear about the games you guys have been playing lately. And if you have a recommendation on a game you think I might enjoy playing, let me know, as I'm always looking for new games to play and experience. I want to thank you guys for watching. Take care. You guys have an amazing day. And Sleepy, we'll see you next time.